Thank you. I will make it quick because this is our senator's time, but thank you.
Yes, so please.
Take all the time you need.
That's less you got to talk, right?
That's right.
All right, I'll try and make it quick. Hey, so I've had the pleasure of meeting a bunch of you already, so it's great to see y'all again. I am running for Congress, so I'll run through my spiel quick. I'm getting good at it. So I'm retired Army, did 26 years. I grew up in the Shenandoah Valley in Virginia after my parents retired from the Army also. Both my parents were in World War II. This is a good story, I'll make it quick though. My dad died at the age of 95, and when he died, he was only missing one tooth in his head. He had the rest of his own teeth. The only one he was missing was when his third escape from a POW camp in World War II, POW guard knocked it out with his rifle butt. Wow. So he didn't get that escape, but that fourth escape he made, he left the tooth behind, but he made it out the fourth time. So that was the greatest generation and stuff. So we didn't have a ton of money growing up, but we had cows to eat, Hereford Angus, and we had big old gardens. And so when I finally retired from the military myself, as soon as we could get down someplace where we could do the same thing, we came to North Carolina, because everybody in the Army, you're like, where are you going to go when you retire? North Carolina. Where are you going to go? North Carolina. So it's just, we love it. This is like Army heaven for us. So I retired in 2010 out of the Pentagon. I did 2 combat tours in Iraq. For punishment, the Army sends you back to the Pentagon. So that's where you go, and it was worse than a combat tour. It's an evil, ugly place, but you learn about Congress, and you learn about money, and you learn about how government works in a really important way. So what I got good at was working with Congress to get money for very important Army programs. The program that I was working on the most was stopping soldiers from getting blown up by roadside IEDs, those roadside bombs. So I started that program when I was on active duty. It was a really heartfelt thing for me to do, especially some of my troops and I got hit, but not actually damaged by those, but I did have a bunch of Purple Hearts from other things that I brought back with my unit. And you go to Walter Reed and you walk through Walter Reed and you see these young kids who could be our sons and daughters today, the age of these young folks over here, this young man over here, and you're like, you know what, I got to do something. So that'll get you motivated in a hurry. So when I retired, the Army was still having trouble managing this program, so they asked me to come back as a businesswoman and said, hey, we'll give you military contracts to help this program. We got to save these kids. And I call them kids because they're just so young. They're the age of my sons today, who are 21 and 24. So anyway, I continued to do that, built it into a business. I had about 200 folks working for me who were working just as hard as could be getting this program out there. Hawaii and Florida and California and just everywhere, getting it into the Department of Defense, so nobody had to fight these wounds anymore. I sold it in 2019 because my son was fixing to graduate from high school in 2020. We didn't want to spend a second longer up there than we had to, so my son graduated in 2020. And in January 2021, we had a house in Edenton. So 6 months. So how's that for fast moving? Yeah. So got the heck out of there, and service is kind of in my family's blood. It's in my husband's blood. There's been a Buckhout, my husband's side of the family, going back serving in every war as an infantryman, going back to the French and Indian Wars before the Revolutionary War. So it's the family business, and we just feel good about continuing to do stuff. It's selfish because it makes me feel good. So, and you all are all here because you like to serve. So that's what it's all about. And it just feels good and it feels right. So I'm throwing my hat in the ring. I'm going to do everything I can. I would love your vote, but I promise you I will work harder than, probably almost as hard as Bobby Hanning. But I will absolutely work like a dog to bring the best things to this region. I believe we need to cut taxes, we need to close the border, we need to work on oil prices as a congressional organization, and we need to support farmers. I'm out talking to the folks who are out cutting cotton and everything around our farm where we live right now, digging up peanuts, cutting cotton, getting soybeans in, and what they are paying right now, they got $1 million combine, it's upwards of $1 million, and what they're paying in fuel and oil and lubricants and everything else is just obscene. And it's making farming unaffordable for families that have been farming for generations. So this is big to me. Bringing more industry here is big to me. I believe in Congress, when you go up there, you become an advocate for your people. You fight, and you go out and talk to industry, and you bring industry to talk to you to say, I got a place, a very tax-friendly place for you to go build a factory, build a business, have a defense contractor come down. I got a great place for you to have a very tax-friendly business with a lot of wonderful workers with a great work ethic. That is Eastern North Carolina. You need to come down here and build something here. So I'm getting pretty good at those fights up on the Hill. I did well in military programs. I'd love to do it with y'all. Big believer in bringing prosperity to Eastern North Carolina, supporting families here. So thank you all so much for the time. I really appreciate it.